On today's episode of Ford Racing Nation, we'll be installing a whole bunch of UPR interior pieces. So it was during Mustang week when late at night I was watching an episode of Dogfighters on the History Channel. Now if you're not sure what that show is, it talks about World War II fighter pilots and their individual battles, and it's recreated in computer animation. There's one episode where they're talking about the P-51 Mustang, and the pilots are saying it was the perfect fighter plane because everything was exactly where it should be. They never had to look for anything, reach for any of the controls or any of the instruments. It was all laid out perfect. So it got me thinking, where do majority of the Mustang owners spend their time? Is behind the wheels. Sure, we do rims, graphics, stickers, stuff like that on the outside for cosmetics, but really on the inside is where you spend majority of your time. So why not spruce up the interior so you have something to enjoy while driving down the road?
Take one of these, we'll take some of those, we'll take this, we'll take one of those as well, we'll take one of these bezels, we'll go with one of those switches as well, we'll go with the door pins, and we'll get one of those tilt wheels. That should pretty much do it.
Alright, take care. Alright, man. Thanks a lot. What year is it?
Trying to get to work.
First off, I'd like to say is that all the UPR products come excellently packaged. I mean, everything's labeled, and it comes with full instructions on how to install this. Now, we already read the instructions, so I look like a hero doing this. Alright, so first thing we want to do, we're going to do the door locks and the little bezel around it. Simple, unscrew the plastic piece. Once you've done that, take the old one, throw it away. All right, so now that we removed the doorknob lock mechanism, we're going to take off the plastic ring insert so we can install the new aluminum one. Screwdriver could possibly work, but I would definitely pick up these trim tools. You can pick them up pretty cheap at Princess Auto if you're Canadian, or at Harbor Freight in the States for like about $5. And we're going to work it around to get it loosened up and pop them out. All right. Now these are just pushed in, so what we're doing is we're actually just trying to pry them out and pry them up. I'm going to try to get a pair of pliers on it, see if we can just pull it right out. There we have it. So simply, new piece pushes in, and then just screw the door lock back down. First piece done. Alright, so next up we're going to remove all the window switches, unlock switches, mirror, and to lock the back windows out. I'm not sure why there's a window lockout when they're just small, but okay. So what you have to do is take a screwdriver, basically hold it to one side, the button, and then get the screwdriver underneath, pop them off. That's all it is. It's off. Now, if you're wondering what screwdriver I'm using, it's basically a small screwdriver, and I actually have just insulation from a piece of electrical wire around it. You can even use electrician screwdrivers for this that have the plastic. That way it won't scuff up or mark up your door panel. All right. Now, before we install the switches, I'm going to add the aluminum plate that we have to go over top of this. So before I install the aluminum plate down, I'm going to clean it first with some rubbing alcohol. That way it'll stick. So the way I put this on is with two-way tape. And first you're going to cut off the aluminum plate out of the plastic, and we'll have to stick the tape on. Now when you put this on, make sure you put the two-way tape on the proper side. It's easy to tell is that it has a protective coating on the side that you want facing upwards, so don't do it the opposite way, because this side is not as pretty. So, you know what? For good measures, I'm going to clean the back side of the plate as well. So there we have it. Before we install it, you peel off the one side, stick it down, and the other. Now the one side is brown, the other side is blue. There's no real preference. I just like blue better, so I saved it to the end. Line it up, and stick it down. So. Okay, once you've stuck it down, peel off the protective coating on the good side. Use your nails and pull it off. Now that left a lot of gummy residue. I'm going to use some alcohol again and clean it off. Alright, so now I'm going to install the actual switches itself. Once again, razor blade. Okay, so make sure when you're installing these that you securely push them down. And so you have to use a little bit of force. You may think you're going to break the switches, but you're actually not going to. They are a snug fit. So to get them on, just make sure line them up good, and then good push. So just make sure when you install the lock and unlock, you use the proper side. I actually installed the wrong side first on here, and the way you can tell is there's a dimple cut out, and make sure it lines up with the factory nubbin on the switch. That's how you do it. All right. And you simply go to the other side and do the other side. So on the convertible, we have 2, and the hardtop you have 2. That's pretty much it. All right. So before I do the other side, this is what I was talking about. Here it is for the window switches, as well as for the lock unlock. There is a little dimple cut out on here because on the factory switches there is a stem. Basically, I'm going to guess it's for like a stop. Make sure you line those up properly. If you try to put them on the opposite way, it's going to bind up. It's not going to lock or unlock. That's the issue in hand. So simple enough though. If you do screw up, pop it off and just switch it around or put the proper one on. All right, so for the next piece of the puzzle, we're going to install the new headlight switch. So what you want to do is pull it on, and there's a little retainer clip. You're just going to want to push that in and then slowly pull out the old one. That's it. All right. So to take the knob off, you gently pry the retainer clip towards the windshield. All right, you can see in there right now, there's a retainer clip. Just pull that forward, and it should slide right out. So we also have an aluminum bezel that goes on as well. So same way as we did for the door switches, it comes with 2 pieces of 2-way sticky tape and staple to the back. Just rip it apart and cut out your piece. Okay. Once again, I'm going to clean it first with some rubbing alcohol. Need another rag. All right, so and also on the bezel, I'm going to clean the inside where I'm going to stick 2-way tape on, and that's just to get rid of any of the residue possibly from machining. Now it comes with 2 pieces of tape. Doesn't really say where to put them. I'm just going to put them across from each other and stick it over top. And they look like they're half wedges, half a circle. There you go. And make sure the round part is at the top, I guess. Alright, so there we have it. The moon-shaped pieces of 2-way tape is on each side. Peel that off and stick them down. Alright, next up, we're going to install the actual light switch handle. Okay, so this is really simple. Comes with the Allen key and the set screw. Better off to get the set screw in. Start it before you actually install it. And I'm going to put it in far enough where before it actually, I can see it inside. I'll back it out a bit, shove it on. All right. So basically what I'm doing is I'm setting it up so I like to have my dash lights almost full. So I'm going to set it up so when I pull it on, it's still going to be straight looking at me, because there is a little emblem there, like the factory unit. So, and what there is there's 3 spots that are flat spots on the actual switch itself. I'm going to line up as close as possible to one of the flat spots. There you go. Next we'll do the rear defrost switch. So once again, just get behind it, pop it off like you did the door switches. So I pried up this switch a little bit. I can access now the little white tabs. They actually have to be pushed in before you actually can pull the button off. There we go. Well, that's that. Definitely take this thing and throw it away. Alright, now the new one will just flip over the two little white tabs. So instead of putting one side on at a time, I'm just going to push it on with both sides evenly. See if that works. Let's see. That worked. All right. So the next piece we're going to install is the tilt steering wheel arm, and it basically threads in. So we have to remove the old one. What I'm going to use is my round vice grips. Yes, they actually make vice grips for round objects. I'm going to use those. All right. So as you can see, this is Loctite in there quite well. And originally I had my vice grips on the plastic part here. Then I realized I was actually just twisting the plastic off the steel, so I had to move down further and grab it at the steel here. Apparently now that I see that, there's actually a flat spot for a wrench. Did not know that. But who cares, because I'm not going to put the old one on. I'm going to basically take this, throw it away. Alright. So since the stock one was Loctite on, we're going to throw a little bit of Loctite on this. Alright. So once again, remove the old one, putting the new one on, added some blue Loctite. You definitely don't want to use red on this in case you ever have to take it off again. Blue is the one you want to use. Difference between blue and red. Red is more permanent. Blue is easy to take off. There you go. Shove it in the hole and just hand snug it up. That should be good because the Loctite, let it sit overnight. You'll be good to go. It won't back off on you. There we go. Pretty. All right. All right. So these are the actual for the heater knobs. There's three pieces to assembling these. Basically what you do is take the O-ring, fit it around the insert. Now the insert here is what gives you the color. You can pick like red, green, or blue. We pick blue. And what you're going to do is put the O-ring around the middle of the groove and then shove it right into the top hole there. All right. All right. Whoa, where'd you go? Oh, hey, there you are. All right, next thing we're going to install is the heater control knobs. Really simple and easy after you put them together. Just pull them off. Shove the new ones on. They already have the D slot on the bottom. Shove it right over top of the D slot. Pretty. I like them. All right, next. All right. Next piece we're going to install, the e-brake handle. Make sure when you install it to back out the two set screws so they are not protruding inside when you slide it on. So what you want to do is take the actual push knob, drop it into the hole. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is hold on to this as I slide it over. down. There we go. So now I'm going to tighten up the Allen keys. Whole lot easier when the emergency brake's on. There we have it. Handle is installed. All right. Last piece that we're going to install is the actual shifter boot bezel. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. All you got to do is install these little tiny screws in here. Now normally I would Loctite this, but I don't think they're going to vibrate loose at all. Now these little set screws, Allen head screws, actually do nothing on top except for the appearance. It looks like it's doing something, but no. So I'll install all 6 of these. All right. Now we have to flip it over, install the 4 bolts that are left. I don't really want to stick that on the metal, so all right. We're going to grab some race rags and use that. Now these, when you screw them down, they actually don't go in all the way, so don't try to force them down. What they're there for is this is what snaps around when you push it in and clicks into place. There is no removing of your shifter boot, so it works out pretty good. Alright, so now basically these little lips that are hanging over off these 4 screws is what's going to actually snap into place when you pop it in. And that's it. Let's go install it. Pop it in, basically just slide over and snap it into place. So I'm going to start and tuck the front end first and see if I can just pop it down. Okay, the only reason why I keep checking it to make sure it's down is because that was way too easy to put in. That's awesome. Alright, and that's it. That's all the pieces we have installed. I like it. I like the look of it. Adds a little extra touch to the interior of the car. It really took no time to do it. So until next time, stay tuned to FordRacingNation.com. Alright. So until next time, Ford Racing Nation, you stay classy. No, let's not use that. That was stolen from Anchorman. I'm not even going to say the second line. I don't want to put that in video. You poopy mouth. You poopy mouth. Not going to happen.